Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Nicky van Voenhoven and today I want to take you on a journey through getting started with Fabric, Microsoft Fabric. It has been announced last week at Microsoft Build and there's quite some news and hype around it. You might have seen a blog or video here and there. And today I just want to show you how to get started. We're looking at the Power BI homepage right now, and you might be thinking, where are the Fabric items? Where is Fabric? I don't see anything. Well, in case you don't see the Power BI icon on the bottom left corner, then it might still be turned off. So looking at the admin portal of Power BI, there are a few new items here, and the most important one is the Microsoft Fabric preview tenant setting, and it's disabled by default until July 1st, and from that point on it will be enabled by default if you don't do anything. So if you want to have it enabled right now, then you have to flip the switch to enabled, and for example you can specify a security group, so not all the people in your organization have access but just a limited set. You can explore and prepare for the launch of Fabric in your own pace, but for now I'm good with applying it to my whole organization. And if we then go back to the Power BI homepage and click on the workload switcher, we can switch to different personas and to the different workloads in Fabric. If you go to the homepage, we essentially get the same switches, so we can go to Data Factory, for example. We are still in the Power BI environment, but we can start new data flows or data pipelines related to Data Factory. Or if you go to Data Engineering, you can start a lakehouse, or also a notebook or Spark Jobs. Or you can also use a sample. And for example, if you look at a warehouse, if you really don't know where to start, first thing you can do is start a warehouse sample. But there's also quite some good documentation at Microsoft Learn. So there's the whole overview, getting started, but also a nice tutorial which you can follow. It has all the steps detailed. It starts from getting some data, publicly available data, loading it into your warehouse, doing some T-SQL to load and transform the data, and then finally using Power BI to report on that. And this is the high-level overview of this warehouse tutorial. And Power BI then has the new storage mode called Direct Lake. It uses that storage mode to query the data in one lake and not import it into Power BI. So it has the performance of import and the benefits of direct query, as Microsoft says. So going back to my data warehouse environment, for now I'm just going to use this warehouse sample. So warehouse sample, and this is going to load. Right now it takes quite some time, around 15-16 minutes for me when I do this. So what I did is prepare this step in advance, so you don't have to wait 60 minutes. So this is the warehouse sample that's loaded. We have a few tables here, so date, for example, but also a fact table called trip that is loaded with some taxi trips from New York. And there's quite a lot of data, some latitudes, longitudes, geography, pickup times, and all that sort of things. So some dimensions and measurements that you can use to eventually create your report. What we can do is we can also run your SQL queries here. For example, I can see how many rows are in my tables. Be mindful that The T-SQL that you use here is case sensitive. So if I use trip and press Ctrl Enter, that's a shortcut for run. It has an invalid name. So be sure to make it case sensitive. We can even rename the queries here and save them to my queries. You can also move a query that might be used by other people to the shared queries, and that means other people in the same workspace can also use this query, so that might be useful. One next thing is, if you go to the model view, that will let you model your data model. So this is the, as is mentioned here, the default Power BI dataset. And when you just load the sample, then there are no relationships, so you have to create the relationship yourself. We could, for example, do this one. Let's do it the other way around. So data ID to data ID, many to one. That's good. So we at least have one relationship, and from that I can create my Power BI report. Let's sign in and continue to Power BI. So for example, I can see the total amount by month. So this is querying the data in diagram mode from the warehouse model I created in OneLake. Takes a few seconds to load the data for the first time, but here we are. So this is only data from 1 year, and it's now ordered descending by the total amount, but we can also do it chronologically, of course, doing the sorting by month, but that's for another day at time. So going back to my workspace, let's not save this one. What I can also do is I'm filtering my warehouse, and I was using this warehouse sample. If I go to the lineage view of my warehouse, so here's the warehouse that I created, the auto-created dataset on top of it, and if I click on the ellipsis, I can auto-create a Power BI report. You have to be mindful that I only created one relationship, so between trip and date, so there's not that much to relate to each other. If you want, you can also pre-select some data from your dataset. That will make the report a little bit different, but for now it created the day of week as the common field, and create some counts of the ID fields, so not that useful right now, but it's a start, and you can maybe get a feel for the data, save it or edit it, and enter your own report also. So that concludes my overview today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, then please let me know. And I do encourage you to go to Microsoft Learn. There's a lot of tutorials there. There's also some collections on getting started with Fabric. So please like and share the video if you like it, and I'll see you in the next one.